Josh, the leaked Alito opinion is, quote, too normy? This is your piece. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so Jesse, always great to be with you, obviously. So look, Justice Alito's opinion is a good opinion, okay? It is an admirably good start. It obviously comes way too late. I mean, Roe versus Wade came down in 1973. The court had an opportunity in Planned Parenthood versus Casey, a case from 1992, to overturn Roe. They decided not to. So thank God this happened. I mean, we have lost 63 million unborn children in the past 49 years since Roe was handed down, as you said. The problem with the Alito opinion, and again, we should be praising the opinion, okay? This obviously is a tremendous achievement. Roe should have been overturned a long time ago. The problem is I think we on the right have gotten too accustomed to speaking of abortion as a quote-unquote states' rights issue, or under our system of governance as a federalism issue. And that's basically all the Alito opinion does. But in this essay that I published over the weekend, what I actually argue is that, properly speaking, the same way that back in the 1850s and obviously into the 1860s, slavery was not sustainable as a state-by-state issue. This is basically the Lincoln-Douglas debates in Illinois in 1858. Stephen Douglas famously argued that in the then Western territories that slavery should be a state issue, and Lincoln said no, because this is wrong. We know this is a moral evil, therefore we have to protect everyone equally. So I'm saying here that pro-lifers ultimately have to do the exact same thing for unborn children and enact a federal constitutional protection, ultimately speaking. So Alito's opinion is a good start, but it's really only a start, I think.
Agreed. I don't have any problem with that at all. It should not take place anywhere within the borders of the country. But what would you say, because you're inevitably going to get pushback on this, that goes too far? Josh, if we're incrementally winning the battle anyway, why shoot ourselves in the foot? What say you to those people?
So look, Jesse, I mean, there are so many people on our side, whether it's kind of in an abortion context, immigration context, you know, there are so many people that I like to refer to as thumbsuckers. You know, the thumbsuckers who would just kind of pat everyone on the head and say, oh, we're doing a great job. Yay, yay, team. I kind of view it as my responsibility to say, look, this is a good opinion, but this simply does not represent the end goal here. And, you know, look, the same way that it obviously took President Lincoln a long time, obviously, to fight a horrific civil war. The 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery, worked its way through Congress in 1865, way towards the end of his life before he was assassinated, culminating in the 14th Amendment 3 years after he was assassinated. But that whole time, he had some people whispering in his ear, remember what the real end goal here is, to abolish slavery, not be a state-by-state issue. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. I'm not comparing myself to Lincoln, obviously, but I'm trying to remind the pro-life movement that our ultimate goal is to eradicate abortion in America, not a state-by-state issue.
Josh, the public, aren't they coming around on this issue to the correct side simply because of science, simply because of these 3D ultrasounds and things? And you can look, I mean, you know that's not a clump of cells. You can see the head, hands, you can see the beating heart. We are winning, though, right? Give me some good news.
Yeah, look, I mean, there are actually few issues, honestly, that I think that we are winning on as much as we are winning on this issue. I mean, overall speaking, kind of millennials, even Gen Z to an extent, you know, obviously the Gen Z being a generation that for all sorts of reasons is kind of messed up in various ways. But even if you look at the polling for, you know, people just generally speaking below the age of 35, our generation is more pro-life than our parents' generation, for the very simple reason that because of the advancing state of medical science, embryology, and our knowledge of the unborn life in the womb, that it is obvious to all through ultrasound technology and things like that, that this is a child, that this is a distinct member of the human species from fertilization onward. We have the medical science to prove it at this point. And, you know, we actually really are kind of making advances on this issue. In many ways, the pro-life cause has been a very successful kind of litigation strategy with all the various lawsuits and just the picket lines. I mean, we really have been successful on this issue to date. My purpose in writing this piece, though, is that we just have a little bit further to go, but we very much are on the correct trajectory at this point, Jesse.
Don't miss Jesse Kelly Breaks History, Che Guevara, the latest episode of a new series available now exclusively for First TV supporters. Visit the First TV app or thefirsttv.com to subscribe and start watching today.